All right. Are you ready to talk about the Steam Deck?
Yes.
All right.
Got it right here.
Oh yeah, I got mine too. Do you have a case for yours?
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like it's the most unnecessary thing though.
Oh, no. I don't have a case.
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is
I was thinking about the carrying case. I don't
this
have
is
an
a
actual.
Mamba. Okay, I guess grip is what it says. This is a Mamba grip, which I have a Mamba grip for my Switch, and I like it a lot. So I was like, yeah, I'll get one for the Steam Deck. It doesn't really need it because it's already beefy, but it has a kickstand in the grip, which is I
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I guess.
And like I
I
don't know,
don't.
like I'm gonna keep it on because I feel like it'll give it like a little bit of protection, like there's a little bit of like a padding, you know.
Okay.
But still, unnecessary item.
Yes. That's the spirit of handheld gaming is that
Oh
they
yeah,
always release peripherals.
garbage. Do you wish there was a Steam Deck worm light? You know, you can like pop it on the charging port. It's like a little light.
Steam Deck 2
Oh, don't
built
put
in.
don't put a light in the screen so that we can use a worm light.
Yeah. I want only outside lights. I don't want internal lighting.
Could you imagine playing like fucking Elden Ring with a worm light? I can't see anything. I don't know if I'm dead, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes the game hurt less. All right, I guess we'll do a countdown. Ready? 3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Welcome, Geeks and Gamers. I'm joined today by Gabe Newell. Wait a second. That's not Gabe Newell.
Wow, I have been bulking.
That's Spencer. I guess Gabe Newell canceled. You'll have to do.
Okay. Well, I can talk his points for him as if he were here.
Can you tell me why they've never made another Left 4 Dead game?
Um, yeah, because Left 4 Dead players are gay.
That's Gabe Newell's answer.
His official answer.
Maybe he thinks
Very homophobic game.
they don't really make games.
Don't go on his
anymore,
Twitter.
though, do they? Valve. They don't really make games. Like I remember they were like, "We're making a new game," and everybody was like, "Really?" And they were like, "It's a Witcher card game," and like everybody was like, "Oh," or like something.
Oh,
like
did
that, right?
Valve make that?
Or something like it was some sort of card game. It was like some other properties card game. Valve was like, "We're doing." Maybe it wasn't Witcher, but
They did Dota 2, which I mean that was a while ago, but they it's a constantly maintained game. But that is just essentially a remake of Dota with or really Heroes of Anotha. I don't know, somewhere in that realm. But so it's already like kind of built for them. They just made it and like polished it, and then they released new content. So some of that is them, I suppose. And then I think they did make like a card game probably based around the same universe, I would assume, and then like a tactics game again.
No, the one I'm thinking of wasn't the Witcher one, which does exist. No, it's just a game called Artifact, and it's a card game, and like from 2018. That was their card game. It's like Valve's back, baby. Oh yeah.
It's sad to see like a company that you respect, that you know can make good games,
not.
choose to make games that are meant to be like cash grab games. Like I think that's why people are so mad at what do you call it, Konami. Just seeing a company where you're like, I know that you have talent, I know that you know how to make quality products, but I choose not to. It's just kind of sad.
Well, that's like two different stories completely. Like I think Konami is in the camp of like they had so many failures that like they're almost afraid to try again. Valve is like they're too successful, you know, like they
Yeah, maybe they don't want They don't want to like lower their batting average.
Yeah. Like they have a storefront and like now a platform and like all like they don't. It's like yeah. We can make another Portal game, but like, do we need to? It's like,
But like, why?
Yeah, but like, why? I guess they did do that like Half-Life VR game, right? Like Half-Life Alex. I don't know if that was actually them.
Yeah, I like that. Like I remember I talked to people about that. They're like, this is the best VR game imaginable. I'm like, okay, that only puts it at the bottom of the list of things that I want to play. So sorry.
I think the best VR game imaginable is like mid tier every other game right now,
right?
Because VR technology is like not there yet. It's like you stand in one place and it's like move your arms.
It's the best game ever for something that you have to pay like $800 for and then get sick the first hour you try to play it.
Oh yeah,
that's the pitch to me of like, nah, it doesn't really count to me, but all right, go for it.
But it feels like you're really in Half-Life. As Alex.
Is Alex from Turbo Zone?
No, it's the girl. You ever play Half-Life before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's man, I should start spelling my name like that though, like the edgiest. She's like ALLYX or something, right?
Try to find a way to spell your name with like a Z, or a K.
I would just like I think spelling it that way is. I think there's still the vowel's still in there. I want no vowels in my name.
Yeah.
The least vowels is better.
Just LX.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Losing it a little bit. Spencer, I asked you on today so we could talk about the Steam Deck. I got mine, you got yours. And it's a little product. You know, if you've been around the gaming sphere for a while, you've probably heard the Steam Deck talked about, and also now there's like an uprising of mini PC handhelds that like it seems like every week it's like, dude, you gotta check out the RGI Ally 5. You can totally play the same game on it or something, but dude, it's like $900. It's like, well, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like we're in like a mini PC handheld revolution right now, which will inevitably fucking die eventually. But right now, all you tech nerds enjoy it. Spencer, when did you get your Steam Deck?
Well, I pre-ordered, so I got it as soon as possible. Now that obviously they were in short supply for a long time. I don't remember exactly when I got it. But it was definitely maybe like a couple months after release or something. Or a month. I don't remember.
I remember you had it pretty early, in the lifespan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got mine 14 days
Congrats.
ago.
14 days ago. Let me do the math on it. A little bit before Christmas?
23rd, yeah. That's when we did our Christmas presents.
You were cheating. Santa would be very mad at you.
That's when I got my Christmas presents, and that's when I got it. Which SKU did you get? You know how like they had like the 3 different SKUs? It's a good word. SKU.
Word of the day.
SKU.
I got the 512.
Oh, me too. Okay, but the interesting thing is that mine's a refurbished one. Refurbished one.
Refurby.
Yeah, refurbied one.
Remember Furby? He's back in Steam form.
He's back. I don't think he's a character. I think it's the race.
Okay, so you're being racist right now.
You're being
you're calling against Furbies.
You're calling against
the Furbs. the Furbs dirty, like a slur.
You dirty
Furb. Where's the Furb?
So mine's a refurbished one, but mine is also the same one as you with the non-reflective screen and the 512 and whatever. But mine just costs less because Valve got it back and looked at it and said, "Okay, we'll sell it again."
Sick.
So, yeah. So I thought this would be an interesting video to talk about some of our experiences and maybe go over some pros and cons and things, recommendations, whatever, with the Steam Deck. Now, obviously, Spencer's had his since they were available to him, and I've had mine for 14 days. So please, for the love of God, if I say anything that's wrong, Spencer, tell me. Because somebody in the comments will definitely. Actually, if you need to get into the thing, I had this issue with I did my Atari VCS video, and I had the same thing. I was like, actually, you can push this for 15 seconds, and then this happens, and I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that?
Well, I want to be clear. I don't tinker. I'm not a tinkerer. So if that's what you're expecting from me, it's not going to happen.
Just like any basics that I get wrong, you could be like, oh, hold on.
Cool.
Just don't gaslight me,
You know what? That's so funny to use that word. I keep hearing that word a lot these days, and every time it comes up, I say, I don't know what that word means. And somebody will tell me what it means. And then tomorrow, or maybe even like 10 minutes after, I still won't know what it means.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, remember I told you. And then that's gaslighting.
Like, you're gaslighting me.
I'm gaslighting you about gaslighting. Remember I told you what it was. I'm trying to help you, Spencer.
Don't gaslight me.
So, Spencer, having had yours early on till today, obviously, I guess my first question is maybe what have been your major experiences with using the device so far? Games you've enjoyed on it, maybe? I don't
know. Okay, so yeah, I play a lot of RPGs, so that's primarily what I've been playing on it. And then I use it. It's a great emulator, so I've been using it a lot for emulation. In fact, most of the games that we've done for the button mappers, if it was a retro game, it was probably played on the Steam Deck.
Nice.
How about you?
So far, the first thing I did when I got mine was I started tinkering around with some of the bigger games. So I played through the story mode in Mortal Kombat 1, which I'll talk about that. That's weird. Playing on a Steam Deck. And I started playing some of the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart version, which is also something I need to talk about. I've had some experiences with that on the Steam Deck. And then I'm messing around with a few other games. And then, of course, I set up emulators. So I started playing around with emulators.
Did you use the one I recommended?
I used EmuDeck.
EmuDeck. Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
that saves you so much time. Like, I went on to the Linux thing, the desktop mode, which is weird using Linux, and then went into the whatever fucking Firefox, whatever the hell was on there, and downloaded EmuDeck. And yeah, it was super easy. Just like installed all the emulators. I think like a few of them I still have to get BIOS for, but it installed all the emulators like bam, 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 and then like saves you so much time. And I was like, that's nice.
Bam, 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 bam.
You're a pirate. And then the first thing I did is I immediately went on and started fucking around with the GameCube games. So
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started playing some embarrassing games on the GameCube. I thought it'd be funny to play some trash on the GameCube. So I started playing some
Leisure Suit Larry. Did that ever come out on the GameCube?
I don't think so. Not on GameCube. Maybe Xbox. I don't know if a GameCube. Started playing some Mortal Kombat Deception, because who wants to go back to that era of Mortal Kombat? It's gross. And I started playing Shadow the Hedgehog, which I thought was hilarious, to play Shadow the Hedgehog on my Steam Deck. Like, but it's funny. And then I don't think I'm gonna do it for Game Talk, so I'm gonna say it. I started playing Digimon Rumble 2, like Rumble Arena 2, which was garbage.
What is that?
Smash Bros. Game, but Digimon. It's also on the GameCube, so I'm like, what kid wants this over Melee? It was garbage. It was hot garbage.
Yeah. You tired of Melee? No, because nobody ever got tired of that game. Like, all right.
Here's a Digimon one. And
here's a less good one.
They have like annoying anime voices from the show or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, this kind of sucks. But and I fucked around. Like I put out like some other, like I put like a PSP game just to see. PSP looks weird on the Steam Deck. Because like,
Probably a bad aspect ratio.
oh yeah, well it's like the PSP already had like a widescreen aspect ratio on like a tiny device, so it just looks like it blows it up to the size of the screen, and like, it looks kind of gross. I was like, ew,
Yeah,
ew.
that happens a lot. Like they'll when you try to emulate when you're like more new to emulation, you'll do like a Game Boy game or a Super Nintendo game, and then the game will like adjust to the aspect ratio of your screen, and everything just looks kind of stretched out. You're confused about it. Yeah,
So
happens.
we'll talk more about the games we've played and some of the pros and cons in a bit. I want to know what do you think of the unit itself, like playing on the Steam Deck with the buttons, the setup, like the weird
I hate it.
pads. Yeah, okay, okay. What do you not like?
It's all these machines. They're very ambitious, trying to duplicate or replicate a computer. And so you have the best of both worlds of trying to get a controller as well as God forbid, a mouse and keyboard setup that is just ungodly not good. If you're ever going to play a game that's a mouse and keyboard game, just don't even fucking bother on the Steam Deck. It's frustrating. As a controller, it's terrible too. It's just not ergonomically set up to be a controller. That's why I only really play RPGs on it, because you don't need like to be super dexterous. You can just, hit the A button a bunch of times. So for those purposes, I use it for that. I tried to play Elden Ring on it, and just wasn't like it didn't feel right. It didn't feel as responsive as I needed it to be. And not maybe responsive isn't the right word, but just the ergonomics just were not there. Like using the joystick with the buttons just did not feel good at all. So I do have a Steam Deck dock, which is fun to say.
I have that too.
And yeah, and so then I played Elden Ring on that, and it ran great and ran fine. So there is a solution, but as a portable, no, it did not like substitute the controller experience, or definitely didn't substitute the mouse and keyboard experience.
Even with the dock, there's a few asterisks that I got to talk about with that too. That I've had experiences with it so far.
It was not like a plug and play.
No,
which blew my mind. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
The playing it on the unit itself so far there's been ups and downs for me. I actually like the sticks and I like the triggers and stuff. I think the triggers feel nice on the device. The touchpad things I haven't tried using for a game yet. I mean, I can't imagine they'd be any good. I think I like started Left 4 Dead 2 and like touched it for a second and was like ew, and then I went back to the thumbstick. But I was like ew, gross. Yeah. I mainly just used it for like the Linux desktop to like use the mouse to like download ROMs. So that's mainly all I've used that for. The buttons aren't as bad for me, like the face buttons, but the D-pad is trash. I do not like the D-pad at all. I think it's kind of mushy feeling, and it's not really as tactile as I would like. And this is why I said maybe I made a mistake getting Mortal Kombat 1 on Steam, because trying to play Mortal Kombat 1, I swear there's times where I have input the same commands and gotten different outcomes with this fucking D-pad. And I'm like, this D-pad, I swear to God, it's not great. But I made my bed, now I gotta sleep in it, right? I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1 on the Steam Deck. But overall, I don't mind it. I think it is an improvement over like playing on the Switch. Playing like the handheld Switch games. I think the Switch Joy-Cons feel like garbage most of the time. So I'd probably take this over that.
I wish I brought my Switch up here.
Yeah,
I don't know. Ergonomically speaking, I'm actually happier with the Switch. It just feels better to me. But I think that I agree, and like if you were to take each individual piece of the Steam Deck, I'm pretty okay with it. Like the joysticks feel good, the buttons feel good, the triggers feel good, the D-pad. I get what you're saying on that. I don't play as much of stuff that uses D-pads, but it's not that great. But when you combine them all in their placement on this thing, like I think traditionally joysticks need to be lower.
Mm.
They need to be like have like a lower part so that you can move up to the buttons, and then you can use. They need to be lower. They're too high, and so I'm like playing it, but my thumbs are like this.
Okay, so I like,
And
and
yeah,
we can see in a second actually because we both have ours. We can see because I think I have bigger hands than you anyway. Because so
yeah.
maybe that's
I have small little hands.
so maybe that's the okay. Like, do you use a grip on your Switch or
No.
just? Oh, I have to because if I play the Switch by itself, just like no grip, my hands will just cramp constantly. So I have a like that's why I have the Mamba grip thing for my Switch because I have to use that. And I don't know, like my hands like fit pretty well on the Steam Deck. Like I got my thumbs up here, and like it doesn't feel like it's that bad for me. But
Yeah, it just doesn't. This is not like
maybe it's the Xbox Duke
it's not.
controller issue, you know? Because I never had issues with a Duke controller either on the old Xbox. You ever use one of those? It's just
Yeah, I don't. I used them when they came out. But again, the thumbstick is lower.
no, that's true. That's true.
It's and that's how it's supposed to be because then you can
Would you put like the thumbsticks here where the trackpads are?
ideally, yeah. I say don't even cater to mouse and keyboard, which obviously they have to. So it's like well, fuck it. But
Or just put like a little nipple right here. You know, I don't know. You know, just like a little mouse nipple.
oh, like the little nubs.
Yeah, but like put it like up here where like it's out of the way. You know, nobody has to fuck with it.
yeah. I would have scaled those down a little bit just to simulate a normal controller.
Okay. Cool. So, yeah, the unit itself, we can come back to that later. See how we would improve it if we were to design the Steam Deck 2. And that's why I wanted Gabe Newell here. I was going to pitch up some ideas.
Well, I have a direct line to him, so anything we recommend, I'll send it to him.
Mouse nipple. Just put mouse nipple.
Mouse nipple.
He'll know what it means.
He's got it.
Mouse nipple.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Cool. Now let's talk about the docking situation. Do you have the official like Valve one, like the Steam branded one?
Yes.
I don't. I have I think it's JSOX. JSOX? That's an awful name.
Great products coming from JSOX, known for their quality products.
I mean, I saw videos online saying that like this was a pretty good like budgeted one. It's like $30 or so, and I don't need it for much. I just want to play on the TV. So I was like, cool. I don't need like I think the only thing is that like it only has like the power in HDMI and then 2 USB spots, and I was like, oh well, that's all I really need. I don't care about anything else. So I got that one for cheaper because the other one's like $70 or something. And it connects fine to the TV. I think it looks fine on the TV. My biggest issue so far has been the Bluetooth controller support.
Yeah.
The first thing I did.
Well, so
okay, go ahead.
real quick before we go to the Bluetooth controller thing, when I got the one from Steam. I'm never a gamer that complains about updates. Like I know that like a lot of the old timey gamers in our community, you should
be able to just put a game in and play. Yeah.
I put a game in, I can't play. What do I do? And like they freak out like it's the end of the world. I don't give a shit. Like upgrade your internet if you have a problem. Like any updates I do, they take like what 2 minutes at best, at worst. If it's like downloading the whole game, okay, it takes a little bit longer. But like, what are you doing with your life that this is like? Go make a sandwich. I don't know. I never really understood that. But I think I had to run updates on the Steam Deck dock when I got it, and it was like that was weird because like it's not like it's like a complicated piece of machinery that like you have to send things to. It's like plug it into the thing and make it be an HDMI connection. Like that's your role in life. That's like, your job. Like the Switch one, it's just you just plug it in and it works. Like why can't they duplicate that? That was kind of bizarre to me.
That's questionable too because I haven't had to update mine because mine's a third party, so maybe that's why. But also at the same time, ideally you can just plug the like a USB-C to HDMI directly into your Steam Deck and play it on the TV, like without a dock. So what is the dock doing that it needs an update?
Right. Like, why did I get you?
You know, like why does it need an
So
update? Like I only wanted it to like cradle it and charge it while I'm playing.
right, that was confusing to me, and that's like speaking to one of my bigger issues with the Steam Deck is that if they're trying to replicate a console experience, but as like your PC as a console, like on the go, their competition is the Switch, and the Switch is so easy to use, and it was designed that way. And yeah, there are some shortcomings because of that, but the benefit is plug and play. And I think that's really what they needed to strive for, and they did not hit it with the Steam Deck. So there's my thing.
So the Bluetooth controller support. First thing I did was I was like, obviously, I'm going to use an Xbox controller because I got a million of those things laying around. So I got out my like Elite controller. I linked it to the Steam Deck, and immediately noticed it was laggy as hell. I was like, that's weird. I was like, maybe it's just like the interface is laggy. I don't know. So I went into a game. I just loaded up a game, like walked around. Yep, input delays. So it was so noticeable. It was so bad, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. So then I like looked it up online to see if like there's a fix for it, and the most I could find is people were like, no, it's just like that. for Xbox controllers, and I was like, that is weird because Xbox controllers usually work with everything. I was like, that's okay, whatever. So then I was like, well, what else do I have? I don't want to use a PlayStation 4 controller because those things die in 3 minutes. So I was like, what else do I have around here? I have the Switch Pro controller, and that can go into Bluetooth mode. I've never done that before on there, which is weird. It feels weird using a like Nintendo controller through Bluetooth mode, but it connected and it works. But I have an issue with the Switch controller while I'm playing, like mid-game, which this is very frustrating because I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch Pro controller, which, you know, feels nice with the D-pad and buttons.
I love that all of your stories turn back to Mortal Kombat 1. But...
That's a lot of what I've been playing. For some reason, the Switch Pro controller would disconnect itself and then reconnect as another player, like on the lights on the bottom of the Pro controller. So like player 1, bam, gone. I can't do anything for a second. Player 2. And then bam, gone. Can't do it. Player 3. And I was like, what is happening with this thing? Like,
maybe your cat's in the other room trying to play some Mario Party.
I don't know. I don't like my Switch is even on. The dock isn't even plugged up. It's just like, what is happening with this thing? And so that's been an issue. My current solution is if I'm playing docked, I have been plugging in an Xbox controller wired, and that works fine. But it's gross having to plug up an Xbox controller through wired to get it to work right now. So I'm still working on this.
Feel like scum.
Yeah, I'm like, I have like a fancy, you know, mini PC thing that can play I can play, Resident Evil 8 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake on the fucking tiny ass handheld, and I can't use a Bluetooth controller right now. Like, this is a problem.
Yeah. Well, my Bluetooth problems, they're like, it's that the Bluetooth itself just is hit or miss if it even like wants to work.
Maybe that's what
like I got
with the Switch controller.
Yeah, I had some where it was I had to go through like 3 controllers, and I would like connect it, and it would say, "Oh, we found your controller, great," and then I would be like, "Awesome," and then I would maneuver around like, "Okay, it seems to work," and then I'd go to the game, nothing, dead, and I was like, "That's weird," and then I went and undid that one, tried a different one, and it seems like, and it's frustrating because I don't actually play it docked all that much. Because I have like a gaming PC. So if I really wanted to do that, I would just game on my PC. So the dock is more for like, I don't even know what it's for, I guess, when you really break it down. But so I'll take it and just have it portable for forever. And I feel like when I do that, it ruins every connection I've set up. And so recently I wanted to try a game. I was gonna play. I can't remember what game it was, but I set it up on the dock, and then I was like, "Oh, which controller did I have connected to this?" And I think it said like it said a Stadia controller, of which I have 3. and because you could set them up as Bluetooth controllers right before it ended, so they're like trying to be nice to us. Didn't earn them any points, but yeah, so I like dug through my box of different Stadia controllers, couldn't figure it out. So I just tried to my Nintendo one. It took me like 30 minutes to get a proper controller connection, and it's like this needs to be instant.
Yeah.
This is not good.
For one, I like the fact that like I like the idea that you have a box full of Stadia controllers. You're just like, fucking, which one is it? Which one is it? Just...
Yeah. Yeah, I got like a black one and like 2 whites.
Stadia, more like Go Awadia, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm now thankful I didn't sign up for Amazon Luna, because then I'd have even more of a mess on my hands.
Yeah, and it seems like with that issue right now, there needs to be they could do some sort of a fix, I'm sure. They could figure it out, but even if not, I've seen like there's another mini PC handheld out right now that has like, which I think is stupid, but at least it would be an idea to work with. They have Joy-Con things that come off the side, and then you can make a controller with them, and then they're also like a mini mouse and keyboard if you want something like that. But still, it's like bam, play, and then like that's neat, and like at least I know it would connect. But like the Steam Deck doesn't have it doesn't have a controller. You know what I mean? Like I can't like. Really,
well, if you're gonna be portable, I don't want a controller.
But yeah, but if you're offering a docking solution, it seems like it's kind of half-assed. Where it's like, yeah, you could dock it, but like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean that's clearly the problem, is that when they built the Steam Deck, they didn't really think of it as like a whole like inclusive tool. They like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you had PC gaming on the go? And they said, yeah, that would be badass. Like, can we make it affordable? Yeah, we can make it somewhat affordable.
Kind of.
And then they're like, yeah, kind of. And they go, okay. You know what's weird is that computers have all these different things that they got going on, and it's not as easy as like owning just a console. And they're like, oh, yeah, we have no idea. Yeah, we can't help you on that.
I love.
Like, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to use.
I love the videos that I see where it's people using the dock and then plugging up a mouse and keyboard to the dock, and I'm like, just what are you doing? Stop! Just get a computer.
Yeah, that's a bad decision. That's a person making a lot of bad decisions in their life.
Like, I guess if it's your only option, you know, if you only have a Steam Deck, and it's like, I mean, I really got to get my fucking PC game fix on him. You know, I guess, but Jesus Christ, no. But still, it seems like if you offer a dock, they should offer a controller. Didn't they have like a stupid controller at one point with like no thumbsticks? Like, I
have it.
Oh, do you have it? It looked like trash when I saw pictures of it before.
It's comically bad. It has. It maybe did it not have any thumbsticks?
It was like
I just remember it having like
circles,
really
right?
obnoxious circles on it. Yeah. Yeah, I use it for maybe 2 seconds, and it's like a novelty at this point. But yeah, I have all the old Steam accessories. I got that. I got the Steam. What was it? It was like you could play Steam from like a box that you could connect to your TV.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had those.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
They had like a bunch of different companies make those, right? Too. They had like, I remember when those were coming out. Those like the Steam Stream things or whatever they were, the Steam boxes.
Stream Deck or something like that.
Yeah, I remember when they were coming out. It was like, I remember seeing like, oh, that's neat, and then it was like, yeah, but 15 different companies are making them, and I was like,
oh, remind you of something?
Weird. Weird. Okay.
Still happening, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like if Valve would offer like, oh, here's our Xbox controller or something, you know, just be like, and it goes with the dock, or, you know, whatever. It seemed like it'd be an easy solution. I don't know.
It's
or just fix the fucking Bluetooth. I can please the Xbox controller.
Really, it's weird though, because like I almost feel like they would get clowned on for making a controller, because PC gamers are so elitist and fucking annoying, and they would be like, "Why is Steam making a controller? They're a mouse and keyboard PC company." And I don't. Maybe that's the Steam Deck is part of that, but I could see them not making one just for that reason. But they could make a great controller. They have the money and the processing or the manufacturing power to do it. But
What's been your experience with Steam Deck compatibility so far?
I mean, just by definition, it's hit or miss. Well, I wanted to play Digimon on it, and it's not compatible.
Did you try though?
I didn't try, but it said not compatible.
I've had some weird experiences so far because I've just been going. I have like a library. You probably have way more than me, but my Steam library is like 130 something games. Some are compatible, some are like playable, some are unverified, and some are non-supported. So
right.
I've been going through trying them out, even the ones that are unverified and also the ones that are unsupported. I've been trying out, and sometimes I find that like they don't know what they're talking about sometimes with the compatibility on the Steam Deck on the Valve the store. Some games that are playable are like green check mark. That's verified. Some games that are verified run, but they run badly. Like I have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is green check mark. It looks like trash on the Steam Deck, and I have the PS5 version, and if I had to play the PS5 version, it looks very bad on the Steam Deck. I'm like, technically you can play it, but compromised, very compromised. So I feel bad for anybody that like goes in the store and is like green check mark. That means this must be great. And you get it, and it looks like, Ratchet's faces looks like shit. You're like, oh well, I mean, I can still play it. Games that are playable, I have found that. I have some games that are playable that play just fine. I have some games that are playable that's like quotations playable. It's like, yeah, it's playable if you're gonna give up a few buttons or like if you're gonna give up a functionality, it's playable. Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Unverified or like unknown, that's Wild West. It's either gonna work or it's not. You fuck around and find out. Those are usually games that's like they're like we don't have time to worry about this one.
yeah.
Unsupported. Let's talk about unsupported because I have Returnal, and Returnal is listed as unsupported, and I can play Returnal on my Steam Deck just fine. It looks bad, but just fine.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's interesting that like it's marked as unsupported. Like, what is?
Maybe it has a feature in it that is unsupported.
I don't know. Like the most I could think of is like where that and like it's a PS5 game, obviously. Like maybe the ray tracing aspects, but wouldn't Ratchet also have that issue? So I'm like, maybe I don't. I don't know. Just some weird shit. Also, games that are supported but have you use another launcher is annoying. That's like
I haven't had to do that yet. There are games that would have that.
Yeah, I've had a couple have to use like the Epic Games launcher and stuff, and it's like, hold on, we gotta like install some. Give me a second. Hold on a second.
The Epic Games launcher.
Yeah, like I think it's I have Sackboy. You could tell I haven't bought a PS5 because I'm buying all the PlayStation games on Steam. Sackboy Big Adventure, and it's like, hold on, Epic. I'm like, why is that Epic Games? But it's like, hold on,
Sackboy's big penis.
Sackboy's big sack. Big Sackboy. So, yeah, I think there needs to be a better job on the storefront telling you what's supported, what isn't supported, and why. They do lay out, like, a description, but it's just, like, some features might not work. Or, like, some... you have to, like, use a onboard keyboard, which I don't know why that's a problem. Like, to put in a name or something. It's like, you have to use a keyboard sometimes. And it's like, well, fine. But, like... For some of the games, I wish I just knew why or like why it's working, but it's listed as unsupported, like Returnal, where it's like,
right,
yeah, there seems to be a problem there right now.
Yeah, well, it's like if you're gonna sell a console with people that have games that like they have a library, it's kind of criminal to not be able to play all the games on it. Like it's a dick move, to be honest. And it's not anybody's fault necessarily, because I mean, how many games are there on Steam? You want them to like literally play every single game from beginning to end, and make sure that it like that's ridiculous. But that's just ties back into the concept of like they wanted to bring a PC to a console experience. Here are the struggles that you'll run into doing that, and you're just kind of watching it unfold, and it's like, oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I have the entire Tomb Raider series on Steam, which that one I'm not even upset about because I understand like the old school Tomb Raider games have to use a keyboard to play. Like there's no like you can't map a controller to it. Yeah, you have to use keyboards to play. So like, I understand it just wouldn't work on the Steam Deck. It just the compatibility just wouldn't be there for that, I guess. So it's like
Yeah.
some of them I'm like, okay, I get it. But then there's some that I'm like, this is strange.
Well, and then you get into not only that, but it becomes a thing of like, how did this third party company, like it wasn't made by Valve or anything. It was like some, like we were playing, Ease Origins.
Yeah, Ease Origin.
And I wanted to play that on Steam Deck. It did not work. And I was like, it's like, how do you get a third party company from like another country to get on board with this device that you've just created to fix a game that came out, what, like 15 years ago or however long ago it was?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, can you fix Ease Origins, please, so people can play it on the Steam Deck?
Ease what?
So the 9... Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
We made $5 on that game last month.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he wants to play it now. So it's like...
Yeah, that's an inherent issue that I guess any of these devices are going to have. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're kind of pointing out some negatives so far. But to give the Steam Deck credit, I think it, in terms of like approaching this type of stuff, I think it does look like the most accessible one. Because I have seen other PC handhelds like shown. I've watched videos on them, like they come on all the time, where it's like, check out the new one, and it's just like it's a Windows device that like looks clunky. Right. You know, that like, you have to do everything through Windows, and I'm like, I don't want to do that on a handheld. I don't want to do that. Get out of here. God, gross. So at least there is like an interface, and like it is accessible on that front. Like that's cool.
It's as accessible as you can expect it to be. They tried their best with what they had. It's just the limitation. There's just so much to PC gaming that it would be impossible.
But I have had some good experiences playing games. You know, maybe not Mortal Kombat 1 with the controls, but playing some of the other games. Like, you know, it blew my mind when I started. Like, the first day I got it, I downloaded a few games. One of them was Resident Evil 8 Village, which is a beautiful looking game. You know, Resident Evil games look pretty fucking good now. And I started playing that on there, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I'm playing Resident Evil Village, like, on the fucking toilet. Like, this is awesome, you know? Like, like that aspect is still there. And, like, it's whenever it does work, it is still kind of mind-blowing, you know? Like, today I was fucking around with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, right? Is it called? I can't keep track of the names anymore. And I was like, holy shit, like this looks amazing. You know, it's gonna eat my battery for lunch, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that it connects to your like the promise of cloud gaming is almost realized, even though it's not technically cloud. Although you can do cloud gaming on it, which is kind of cool. Why would you? But you can. Kind of doesn't make sense, but you know, you can, because you can save games to your cloud, and then those files are available on your Steam Deck. So like I was playing Dragon Quest XI on my PC, and then I was streaming it for a little bit, and then I would go farm, but I would do it on my Steam Deck, like hanging out on my couch watching TV. So that is cool that we now have that connection to your PC. You can play those hardcore games and just use them in a different capacity. That is fantastic, especially for an RPG player. So, I mean, I appreciate that, to take that experience portable.
Oh yeah, it's nice. I've put on my, because I have a gaming laptop, so not as powerful PC, but it works. I play games on it, and the last year I played a lot of Cult of the Lamb, and you know, which is like Animal Crossing meets cultist adventure game, and it's fucking awesome. And I played so much of that game, and then eventually I kind of got burned out, you know, because those kind of like lifetime games get kind of tiring after a while. But then I got my Steam Deck, and I just downloaded it, and bam, all my stuff's there. And I was like, holy shit, I can keep playing my Cult of the Land game, like right here. I gotta, like,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, and I remember when we talked about it, probably around when you were getting that gaming PC, you were like, "What would you recommend the Steam Deck?" And I told you no, because I kind of view it more as a companion to a computer as opposed to like a replacement. So when you were telling me like you saw people like hooking up a mouse and keyboard to it, I'm like just cringing off the planet. Like that's yikes. But yeah, I just see it more as a companion to your PC. So you can take like you can have the experience on PC, and then you can have a different experience on the go. But I think they work well together if you're going to do it that way.
Now, obviously, you have used the Linux desktop, and so have I, to like install emulation and ROMs and stuff. Have you used it to actually play anything?
No.
Yeah, me either. I don't want to.
Which is where that would be how you would do like Game Pass right now, right?
Yeah, Game Pass, Microsoft's official answer is to go through the desktop and then install a thing, and then you can do it.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how it plays, but it makes sense.
It's weird that they don't do a native version because they're on Steam. They make games for Steam, so it's weird that like even if it's limited, it's weird that like they don't have a Steam version of Game Pass where like maybe you just play the games that are on Steam. I don't know, but it's just weird that like they don't offer that. For the like 30, 40 games they have on Steam, but
well, yeah, I just think that. And maybe this is complete bullshit. So, you can take it for what it will. But the Game Pass has a lot of games that are on Steam. And it would be kind of like, do you want to just get this thing and you don't have to buy anything from Steam? And it's like, oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Oh, and all the money's going to go to Microsoft. So.
Oops. But
or Steam could take a cut of that. And then Microsoft makes less money on giving you games. So I can see that being a hard sell for both companies, depending on how they manipulated that.
Well, but also the idea of like launching Game Pass through the Linux desktop and then streaming it over the internet is kind of stinky on the Steam Deck. Like, I don't want to do that. That sounds awful.
Well, streaming it over the internet because normally with Game Pass you can download it to your console or PC.
And then the fact that I have to navigate like a desktop, the desktop mode to get to this point, it seems like it feels a little disconnected from the platform to me.
Well, and I think that's what some of the other Steam Deck like people are doing is they can get native because they're using Windows instead of Linux, so they're getting native streaming capability. Or getting native Game Pass, I think is what they're able to do. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's one of their big selling points, which is interesting. Although I thought I saw most of them saying that they're just basically using streaming consoles, basically like a Stadia situation. So I don't know. I haven't touched them. The substitutes, they all just kind of seem to miss the point.
Yeah.
Whenever I see them, it's just like your problem is you're trying to make a bigger, badder Steam Deck. But what you really need to do is make something closer to the Switch, where it's just if it's easier to use, it will catch on like wildfire. I think.
True. So emulation has been cool.
Yeah,
beautiful. That's honestly,
big old screen. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if somebody asked me if they should get a Steam Deck, I'd probably still say yes right now, and I would just be like, oh, there's Steam library has a ton of games, and then I'd be like. But emulation. Hold on. Because I've only fucked with it a little bit, but my God, it's been fun playing emulation. It's so easy. It's just,
seamless.
Oh, God. I have had a few issues, and I'll talk about that, but those are probably just some user errors that I've had so far. But, I tested a few games out. Like, I tested out, like, Star Fox 2, Super Nintendo was great. Genesis Sonic 3 was fine. The first game I tried out because I thought it'd be funny if this was the first game I tried out. I tried out Mickey Speedway USA for the 64. That was my first game, and I was like, "Yep, there it is." I don't know, but
all right.
I've had some issues right now with Okay, so whenever you're on this, because like it installs everything into your Steam OS. What do you use to navigate your games? Your like emulated games.
What do I use?
Yeah, like do you load into like Emulation Station? Do you have like a folder on your OS that you?
I just have a folder on the OS.
I've had issues with
it's
that.
just I just use the download folder.
I've had issues with that. I've had some games not load correctly through that method. And then I've had game. Okay, so here's my experience so far. I was playing Shadow the Hedgehog for some reason, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I started playing this on the Steam Deck? So I started playing it on the Steam Deck. I'm playing it through Dolphin. I would load up through Dolphin and do it, which I don't recommend doing that. And because Dolphin, like, you have to do like touchscreen for the interface. It's weird. There's not like mouse and you can't use buttons. So I would load in through Dolphin, play Shadow the Hedgehog. I was playing it for a while that way. If you ever played Shadow the Hedgehog before, it's a game where you run through like 7 stages and then there's like multiple endings and you have to get all the endings to get the real ending. So I had done 3 runs so far on this game, and I was like, cool, I'm going to go for 100%. Like, wouldn't it be funny if I 100%ed Shadow the Hedgehog on the Steam Deck? So I was playing it, and then one day I was like, oh, cool. I noticed that like the games were on the OS in like a folder. Cool. I'll just load Shadow up that way. Didn't work. No. I go back into Dolphin. My save file's gone. After not having this issue before then. I don't know what happened then. So I go into Linux to see if I could find where the save file is in the files. Can't figure it out. But then I started... So now I use Emulation Station for everything. Because, you can just lay out all of your consoles on there and go through. And there's a nice little menu and stuff. And that seems to work for now. But I still can't find that fucking save file for Shadow. I don't know what happened. It's just gone. I can't figure out why it was deleted. What happened? Because I had like played it through Dolphin over the course of like a couple of days. So like I had saved it, switched out of the game, played something else, come back, and it had been there. So I know it had saved my game. So it has to be somewhere in that Linux desktop, and I just don't know what's happened to it. But for some reason, loading it through Dolphin and then loading it through the Steam OS fucked something up. Yeah. So that's been fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had any issues with it, but I haven't been playing very big games, so I don't really know about save files disappearing. Maybe if I tried to play a 40-hour RPG and on 35 it dipped out, that'd suck.
Is Wario Land not a RPG?
Not in a traditional sense.
Not a traditional RPG. But you know what? After setting up Emulation Station, I do actually like using it more because it keeps all the fucking icons off my OS. I just can just load into there, and then I can see the different consoles I have installed in the game.
Wait. It keeps what?
So hold on.
Icons on your OS?
Yeah. Let me bring up my Steam Deck here. Oh, by the way, I have a cool portal. There's a portal load up with the turret because I'm a nerd.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
I'm playing a game. I had it saved. Let's see here.
You're playing a game on your Steam Deck?
What?
I sound like a 55-year-old. You're playing a game on your Steam Deck?
You're playing a game on your Steam Deck there? So yeah, like
what else would I be doing?
This screen, with like all the fucking things. So there is Emulation Station. I just started using that, and instead of having all the games spilled out onto my screen. So I do
is do EmuDeck. Mine's just one like that, just says EmuDeck on it.
Do I have an EmuDeck one? I think I do. It's weird. Maybe it's in the options somewhere. I can figure it out. Again, 14 days. Still learning.
Yeah, I do EmuDeck, and then it's like, what do you want to do? And I like open the folder with all the games, which is just my download folder. I click it, and then it usually just recommends the core, and then I hit play.
Oh, okay. Weird. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out eventually, but yeah, it's been trials and tribulations of playing Shadow the Hedgehog on a Steam Deck. The name of my new book.
Yeah, I want to read that. That's gonna be good.
Stage 8. I had to fight the Black Bull. And then
Let me tell you what I was thinking at the time.
I was sitting in my car. um, yeah, but yeah, it's been great for emulation. Even if some of the mapping, I've had some issues with button mapping as well, which were the button mappers, so that makes sense.
Well, but that's an emulation
Yeah,
problem.
that's an
That's been
emulation problem, so I won't put that on the
because
Steam
it's
Deck.
like you'll play on like isn't like the Xbox backwards from Nintendo.
Yeah, from GameCube and stuff. So,
Yeah, so it's like B is always A and A is always B
yeah.
on that shit. It's always been a hassle.
So, but you know, it does work very well. So that's point Steam Deck. So, yeah. So I guess we could just
That gets a point.
Steam Deck gets a point, and we've been laying them out here. So I don't know if you want to go into like a positives and negatives.
Sure.
Sure, positives and negatives of Steam Deck.
You want to start with one or just randomly?
Let's do positives. Let's just do positives.
Positives.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the general positive is PC gaming on the go. It essentially achieves that with many caveats, but it's PC gaming on the go, which is quite the feat in a affordable asterisk package.
Yeah, the second that the games that have worked well. You know, the games that like I have gotten to play. You know, I started playing like Psychonauts 2. It's been your favorite game, and you know, like it was just it's a good game. And I started playing on Steam Deck. It looks good, and, you know, and it was like this is doable. You know, like I could totally see myself chilling out playing a bunch of these games in a portable fashion, which. You know, even 3 years ago, if you were like, "Hey, you're gonna play Final Fantasy VII Remake portably," I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like that's a brand new game.
The fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Fuck you up. Get over here. or
really
even
violent.
Even like Mortal Kombat 1, with the issues I've had with the controls, and I've had some issues with online play. Have you tried online play on the Steam Deck?
No.
Yeah, I did once on Mortal Kombat 1, and I regretted it immediately. But even just if I'm just doing the single player content, the fact that I can play a game that came out in September for the most recent consoles, well, laying on the couch, you know, on a fucking handheld, that's cool. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
Emulation, we've already talked about that. That's probably one of the shining points of the thing.
Oh, it's huge. You can't. That's the quest, is to try to get the best possible screen, for emulation, so you can play anything. And this not only has that, but it has a built-in controller that works. And for most of those games, I'm okay with it on this. I mean, you could also theoretically hook this up to your TV, and you could then use any controller you want, which is awesome. I've done that too, and it was cool. So yeah, from an emulation standpoint, this is the current one to beat, I would say.
Yeah, here's what I was doing on New Year's Eve, Spencer. I was playing Shadow the Hedgehog on my Steam Deck dock, plugged it to my TV with a wired controller that goes to my Atari VCS, fighting an alien named Black Doom, and I was living my best life.
Just tell them you're getting laid and getting paid. That's all you need to say for that. Don't say the other thing you just said.
No, it is great. I think there's like always been this like quest for the best handheld emulation thing. You know, like it was for a while. It was like the PSP, which I did that. You know, it was cool. You know, it was like the PS Vita, and like all these little handheld emulation things start cropping up everywhere. And now it might just be this thing. You know, this thing might be the current one. You know, like I saw that like I haven't set it up for it yet, but I saw that like even like PS3 and stuff is doable. And I was like,
well, like cool. Even installing games on it is like, you don't need to connect it to anything.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to like take out a card, put it in here. I can go on like my home PC. What I do is I'll be on my PC just chilling, and it's like, oh, you know what game would be cool to play? Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Go on my PC, download Super Mario World, put it into my drive. Then I go on my Steam Deck, open up, go to the drive, download it, and there it is. Like, it's done. There's literally, there's no moving this around, no, nothing. It's just download it and it's done.
I have done it. I mean, I could do that. I don't do a lot of emulation on my PC, but I could do something like that. with like, but how I've done it is I've just downloaded stuff from the desktop because it is a computer, and that works fine.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't like the Linux stuff or
No,
not necessarily. It's not Linux. I just don't like the Steam Deck as a computer. But it is certainly you could just literally go on there and just do it that way.
I've done that. I've gone on to a website here. I'm not going to give websites because that's illegal. And going on to get ROMs, good luck. And going and finding them and then downloading them and then just I have this stupid kickstand. I'll just set it up, boom, and I'll just see where I can see it. I'll go do something else. I'll come back and go, oh shit, can I play Pokemon DX yet? Okay, no, okay, I'm gonna do something else.
Well then, fuck.
Fuck. So that's been nice. Also, I think a feature we haven't talked about. I think you thought we were going to for a minute. This guy. This is the goddamn fucking nicest case, and it's free. It's like, sure, it's like
it's free with the $500 something product.
It's free with I guess that's it's not free, but you know what I mean though. It's like you still get it with the console, and it seems like it's a nice case, and you can take it around.
Sure.
There's room for a charger. What do you think?
I've taken it somewhere before, and it was nice.
Yeah, it's.
What do I think about
the weird There's a spot for your charger, but it's on the outside of the console. This thing, the little dip in the back. Have you noticed that? Comes like a little bag for your charger that you can store it in the dip.
Here's the deal. You go out and you travel. You carry that around. You'll look like a nerd. It's just the way it is. You'll still look like a nerd if you have that. Yeah, but you're going you go out to like Las Vegas and you're trying to pick up some strange and you're carrying that thing around. It's still not cool.
I know. There's not even like a Hello Kitty on here or anything. They need like a better design.
Yeah. So it's fine. It is what it is. It's fine.
It's just nice. I think my point is that whenever even though I got a refurbished one, it still came straight from Valve. It still felt like a premium product. Opening this thing and like having it, I was like, holy shit! It's like having, it felt better than it's like you get some of those consoles. I know some of the Xbox consoles do that. It's just kind of like in the box, and you just kind of like it feels like it's like you move some paper, and you're like, oh, there it is. Like this, it felt cool to like
so much paper in this box. Why are there all these papers? It's like a book.
No, I was thinking like cardboard. Like you move like a piece of cardboard, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's the Xbox.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for good packaging.
Yeah.
Like you put everything like Tetris into there with like its own box and like its own unique. I love that shit. I think that's fun.
What other positives do you have?
I think that it is built like the construction is good. Like I've dropped this from probably 4 feet onto tile floor, and it had like a little pop thing, but I just like clicked it and it went back in place. So that's it. It seems pretty sturdy, and I like the magnetic thing. Apparently it's pretty easy to fix too. Like they had some issues with lag, but they were able to fix it through firmware, which is kind of cool. So I think it's pretty well built.
I guess that's something we haven't really talked about, is that because we don't tinker, but it is like modular, right? Like you can take it apart and like replace the sticks and like replace things like that pretty easily. From what I understand, from what I understand, like the sticks just kind of like you just kind of disconnect like a cable and you can put new ones in, like a ribbon cable.
That's
and I was
cool.
like, that's not, because like we think of like the Switch where I'm like, oh shit, my 5th pair of Joy-Cons got drift again. I gotta go buy another pair of Joy-Cons. That's happened. No, that's happened twice to me where I have 3 pairs of Joy-Cons because it's like they've fucking.
You guys go too hard on your consoles, man. I guess you guys play like platformers and shit.
Yeah.
But like I only play like turn-based RPGs. So it's like I never have any problems with any
I'm
controller.
over here playing Power Rangers, man. I'm like, fuck, I gotta.
You're like,
Megazord. No, I mean, but like for real, like I've had I got the Switch I bought had the original gray Joy-Cons on it because it was boring, and I got those. And then I put like some Zelda decals on them, and those went out. And then I got the pink and green ones, which are like
I got those.
the Splatoon ones. Those went out. And then now I'm crossing my fingers because these are my favorite ones. I have the purple and orange set, that I still use to this day.
That's like the Phoenix Suns colors from where I'm from.
Oh yeah,
From back in the day, and that is the most hideous combination of colors. Are you serious?
I love it.
Purple and
Oh,
orange.
it's gross. But those are the ones I always keep on. And they don't match anymore because I had with the gray ones, I got like a whole system decal. So like my dock is like Zelda 1 themed. The back of my Switch has like a Zelda, like it looks like the NES cartridge almost. It's like gold and has like the Zelda stuff on it. And then the Joy-Cons had like stuff from the overworld and like enemies like the moblins and stuff. And then now I have these gross orange and purple Joy-Cons on them, and then the back's still gold Zelda, and then I have it in a Mamba case, and nothing matches anymore. It looks gross. And I'm like, I love this. This is awful.
Hell yeah. You look like you won't get the reference, I guess, but you look like an MMORPG character that's like halfway through the game.
Yeah, it's just like random stuff you get.
Like I found these leggings, and I found this shirt.
I mean, that's like a lot of RPGs, like even like Bethesda ones where it's like I wear a pot on my head and
it's like you're only like halfway through your adventure, huh? And it's like
I just need the points.
In it for the stats, baby.
Okay, and I said it was like module. That's nice because the sticks do get drift. I can replace them. I won't. I could get somebody else to, but I can. They can be replaced.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else? Positives?
We haven't really talked about it, but battery life varies.
Okay. We're gonna talk about the battery life.
It could be a positive. For emulation, it's been working fine for me.
Oh, emulation, it's great. Emulation, I'll put on even like a GameCube game. I'll put on a GameCube game, and it's like, yeah, you got 6 hours. And I'm like, oh, great, But
for if you're gonna push it, not only does it die pretty quickly, but it gets hot as a motherfucker.
That fan is going.
Yes. Like, I'm gonna play some Elden Ring. Okay.
Yeah. That's been my time with Mortal Kombat 1 is like I've been playing like the story mode and shit, and it's like but yeah, I mean it is cool though, and honestly like that's the Switch does that too. Some games on the Switch just eat the battery, So that's just gonna happen with this kind of device, especially if you're playing something like Elden Ring or fucking Mortal Kombat 1. It's gonna eat that battery for lunch. It's gonna nom it up, man. Gone.
Yeah.
Battery all gone.
Yeah.
But for most games, it's fine. Even like some, I've played like I don't want to tell you what it is, but I've played a game on Steam because I might do it for a ButtonMapper thing. Playing a game on Steam that is like not as powerful. It's like an indie game, and yeah, it's like that thing is like, hey man, you got like 6-7 hours. And I'm like, oh, sick. I'm gonna play it for 45 minutes, but thank you. like that's the reality of it. Is like, who's gonna sit there and play for that long anyway? I think at least
just losers.
And like, if you're at home, like just plug it up. just plug it in, man. Like I keep my charger right. Like I have a power strip like sitting on the back of my couch, plugged in behind my couch. So I just fucking boom, bam, I'm good to go.
Oh, you know what? I will say that I think the UI is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with the UI. The only thing that irks me is that I feel like you having to manually close down a thing, like the amount of clicks it takes, and the ability to easily forget that you have a program running is a little bit deceptive, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with. I've been able to find everything I needed so far.
Yeah, I would like some more customizable aspects to like the home screen. You know, like I wish I could just make my own like layout. Like I don't like whenever it's like it just adds shit to it. You know, it's like I downloaded fucking a game that I might play like in a month. You know, it's like, oh, I want to play this at some point, and it's like, oh, bam, it's like home screen. I'm like, I don't want that there. Get it off of here. Like that's my only complaint about that layout is like I wish I could just set stuff to a home screen and be like, these are the games I'm playing, and these are gonna be the first things I see. You know, instead of being like, oh, you downloaded a game, here it is. And I'm like, I don't want to see that right now.
I'm cool with that because I mean that's the assumption is that you're gonna play it if you downloaded it.
Okay. Well, like I just got a 1 terabyte micro SD, which is another positive. Is that it's really easy to expand the storage on this thing. And I popped that in, and then immediately I was like, okay, I'll download some more games. And some of them I don't want to play right now because I'm playing some other games. But I was like, I just want to have them on there, ready to go. And yeah, it was just like my whole home screen just got filled full of games I'm not going to play right now. So I'm just like, well, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
But the expandable storage is nice. Just popping in a micro SD card is handy.
Go to the negatives.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go to negatives.
Yeah, I would say it's just not quite plug and play. Like it seems that way when you get it out of the box, and it seems pretty intuitive until you realize all the little things you have to do, and it's not as easy to connect it to the things that you want to connect it to. A lot of the games are deceptively like it's like you said, like yeah, you can play this game, like by the way that you can turn it on, and then you see the button works. I don't know. It's a lot more trial and error, I think, than a lot of traditional console gamers would appreciate.
Yeah, and I guess another negative would be tacked onto that is the fact that you have to view it as a companion, because man, if I only had the Steam Deck and I didn't have a gaming laptop and I didn't already know I could play my library somewhere else and I bought some of these games and it was like, yeah, it's playable, and then I jump in and it's like, well, you can look at the home, the title screen. That's what I mean. Like I'd be pissed.
Yeah, or you bought it thinking you're gonna get a PC experience on the go, and it's really not. Like it's that, but toned down, sometimes dramatically, just to get that. And it's like, oh, this is like not what I expected.
But granted, I think with my complaint there, it is notable that Steam is pretty lenient on like returns of games, right? So like, technically, if you bought something and it didn't work, you just refund it. You know.
Yeah. So. Do you know what their policy is, by the way?
I'm not off the top of my head. It's like an hour, 2 hours, something like that.
2 hours playtime or 2 weeks owned.
Oh, okay. Well,
whatever comes first.
That's reasonable, you know. Like,
I'm surprised that other companies haven't adopted that. That's a very fair, like, return policy.
Are you joking, Spencer? Well, for one, like, Nintendo, no, they're not gonna do that shit. Sony, no, I think the only time I heard of Sony doing that was for Cyberpunk. Remember they were like, that PS4 one came out and they were like, yeah, here's your money back.
Sorry,
we didn't know. But no, I couldn't see them doing that either. Maybe Xbox is the only one I could see doing that. But even then, like, the home console's like, it's presumed it's gonna work anyway if it's a home console. Xbox I say because they have the less powerful hardware now, so it's like this game might not work well on Series S, you know. So
yeah,
I can see them trying something like that. But the other ones, no, no way, no fucking way, man.
Yeah, I mean, I basically touched on it, but the compatibility is annoying. Is just annoying. Most of the games that come out now, I think, are pretty much compatible. That's probably something that they just go through. But a lot of the older games, it's really a crapshoot whether they're going to work on it or not.
If it says verified, though, you're guaranteed it's going to play. It may not look the best, but it's going to play. And if it says playable, I found that if it says playable, most cases it'll work. But sometimes there's maybe a little stink going on. You know, you're like, ugh.
Well, it's just that it sucks if like So like somebody like me who has a lot of games, like because I've had Steam for, God, 15 years or however long I've had it. So it's not like I want to go through every single game on my library and be like, oh, is this Steam verified? Is this Steam verified? What's the Steam status here? So when I just say like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Steam Deck, in my brain I'm like, oh, I'll get to play all those games I have in my Steam library on the go. Not knowing then that I'm going to have to flip through a bunch of menus saying, "Oh, turns out that game isn't Steam verified, so too bad." And this one isn't playable, too bad. It's kind of annoying for us. Like now, if you're buying the games actively, you have all the tools in front of you to make that decision.
Yeah.
But if you bought this thinking you're going to play your backlog, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I said, that was like one of the biggest letdowns whenever I saw like Returnal was listed as unsupported, and I was like, damn, man, like fucking
That sucks.
I want to play Returnal, and then like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it anyway. It still worked, so I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they need to work out some kinks in that system for sure.
Yeah, I guess my only other complaint that I can think of would be just, and we touched upon it almost immediately, but I just don't think that it's a great controller.
Yeah, my biggest issue is the D-pad, but I can see maybe the just not feeling great overall. It feels fine
Like
for me, but
you would take like a Microsoft controller over the Steam Deck, right?
oh yeah,
Like if
yeah.
obviously it changes because of the screen or whatever, but if you could just get that controller feel, but as on the Steam Deck, you would take that instantly. You would not take this.
Oh, definitely. This is an unfair comparison because it's a $200 controller, but my Xbox Elite Series 2 controller is like my favorite fucking controller. I would use that any day of the week over this, but like,
right.
You know, that's also
Like this controller is compromised. That's what this feels like, because it's just trying to get. They insist on putting the mouse and keyboard stuff on here, which is a no ever not going to use, and then it just takes up real estate of the space that I could use for the controller itself. So yeah, it just feels cramped to me. I don't like it.
I still think it's better than the Switch, in my honest opinion. I'll still take it over the Switch. So I think just the fact that I can reach the thumbsticks and play. You know, before I got that Switch grip, and even with the grip, I can't really play games. For any games that use like the other stick as a camera, ugh, gross on the Switch. Can't do it. You know, this
I can see it.
Yeah, this I think feels fine for me, but it's still not perfect overall. I still would like it to be improved. Which I guess can lead into the Steam Deck 2.
They had like a mini Steam Deck too, right? It's like the OLED model.
OLED. Yeah, but they didn't even like announce. They like farted that out. They were like, "Oh yeah, the OLED's out. You can buy it." Cool.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's nice. Okay, like OLED screens are nice, and like they now offer like a 1 terabyte model, which is handy. That's really what they should do anyway. That's what all these fucking consoles should do anyway, because games are huge. You know, if you're playing like, if you got like 500 gigs and you're playing like 3 AAA games, that's it.
And all I play is Roblox. So
AAA Roblox, 100 gig Roblox.
yeah, need all the gigs I can get.
You need all the gigs. But yeah, so if you were to actually, not counting the OLED thing, which I don't think that doesn't really add much else, does it? Other than the screen, does it improve like battery life or performance in any way?
I'm sure there's little things in there, but the main thing is OLED screen.
Yeah,
That's the only thing you're going to notice, unless you're like a super spec junkie. In which case, what are you doing with the Steam Deck?
Yeah, I haven't seen the Steam Deck OLED. I've seen the Switch OLED, and it is nice. You know, like the colors do pop. It does look cool. You know, but I don't need it. You know what I mean? It's just like I looked at it and I was like,
I've got it.
Nice.
I might be, maybe I'm too old and my eyes just don't see things, but I don't notice anything.
I don't know. It does, which I think the Switch is more noticeable for me on the Switch OLED, because the screen is bigger too. It just looks bigger, you know.
I think if you're going to go down the route of improving the screen, I just think it's more noticeable if you improve the resolution of a console instead of the screen type. because if it's the same resolution to me, it just looks the same. I don't really notice the blacks don't blacker
the blacks
to
are
me.
blacker and the whites are
Yeah,
whiter.
and the whites are super white. Like it's perfect society, but it's like I don't know. It just didn't nothing. It doesn't stand out to me personally. But if
Okay.
other people can see it, good for them.
Gabe Newell didn't show up to the call today, Spencer, but you are going to pitch him the Steam Deck 2 right now. We're going to write down some improvements, and we're going to send it his way. What do you think has to be on a Steam Deck 2?
A keyboard physical.
Ooh, how?
You should be able to pull it down from the top.
Oh, like those old Razer flip phones or something?
Yeah. Yeah, either a keyboard or just a better solution for a keyboard. This keyboard's really fucking bad. It's like, and I don't really list it as a negative because it's such like a non-issue once you've gotten started and you're using your Steam Deck. But when you're setting it up, oh boy, I'm like, I'm not gonna have to do this all the time.
Oh,
anyway.
even in game, it's like to bring up the keyboard, push Steam and X at the same time.
Yeah,
and it's like, can't you just make a button? Like, can I just have a keyboard button right here? I got to that keyboard. Yeah.
And if you're able to make a keyboard on the Steam Deck, like it could pull one down or something, and maybe it like can like bend so that now you can use that arch thing to then also have like a keyboard that sits flat. Maybe you could also move the mouse thing to that, so you could like more emulate a mouse and keyboard, and that way that gives the actual face more room for a good controller.
Okay. I think my first improvement is pretty simple. Get a good D-pad, man. Like, it's all... That's easy. Just make it clicky, make it nice. I don't want a mushy D-pad. You know?
Yeah.
And this is something that, like, it's not just Valve. It's a lot of companies, man. They just don't understand D-pads. You know, it seems like we're just getting worse and worse. To a point to where Nintendo is like, what if it was 4 buttons? I'm like, that's not a D-pad. That doesn't count.
Well, that was like PS2, PS1, right?
Yeah, but they kind of like they're still kind of like one board. I'm talking about the Joy-Con has the 4 buttons, where it's like,
oh,
that's
right.
not a D-pad.
Well, that they did. Well, they did that just because you're gonna have to pull it out and use it. Yeah.
Buttons. But still, it's like, ugh, you know. So like, yeah.
Old man Alex doesn't like that.
Like a lot of companies are bad at D-pads, so I understand Valve. But
in my days, D-pads were D-pads.
yeah, D-pads were D-pads, and boys,
not 4 pads.
Boys were boys, and girls were girls. D-pads were D-pads. So yeah, that's my first very simple improvement. The face buttons, I don't think are that bad. I have big gorilla thumbs, so like I can't push all of them at once, but like they feel fine. I think the D-pad's just what I would really like to see improved.
Let's see. I'm looking at this thing. I think I would probably find a way to add better ventilation.
Does it usually get hot? Does it just get really hot?
Oh yeah. And the screen.
Oh,
the screen gets.
Oh, I never touched the screen because I'm always terrified to touch the screen because you know they have like the. That's something I hate, by the way, is the fact that like, some games use like this touchscreen as like a mouse, and if I'm just trying to like wipe a speck of dust off my screen, and it's like, hold on, you pushed a thing, and I'm like, I didn't want to. I just wanted the dust off my screen.
Yeah. No, if you ever play in a hardcore game, and you got it running for probably like 20 minutes, touch that screen. Ooh. You could cook an egg on that thing. Ooh. It's and it makes it's like scary. You're like, if it's this hot, like what's it doing inside? What are the internals like? And for the long term of the console, I just feel like it's not good for it. So I would find better ventilation for it to make it.
You think it's gonna like Xbox 360 where it's gonna fucking melt the board?
Sure,
because that's what
that can happen.
Because that's what the 360 did. Yeah, it just like warped the board, where it warped the motherboard, where it's all those things red ringed.
That is a common problem in PCs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, find a way to get that because I don't. Like this, it's still relatively new. It'd be interesting if, like, in 2 years, everyone's like, "Hey, how come all of our Steam Decks are dead?"
Go. Guess you gotta buy a new one. Um, my the next feature I would like for a Steam Deck 2 would be. I have two big ones, and the first one I'm gonna lay out is if you're gonna offer a dock. If you're gonna say, hey, this can also play on the TV, it's meant to be hooked up that way and played with a controller. Offer good solutions for that instead of being like, yeah, you can do it. Okay, bye. Like actually, like if you're gonna sell a dock, sell it with a controller or something, or make controller, make the compatibility better with the Bluetooth, make the Bluetooth better and stuff, or just make it more seamless. Make it more seamless for me to plug this thing into a dock. The Switch has it right. The Switch, I just drop it in there, and it's like, okay, you're playing Kirby on the TV now. That's all I want.
Right. That is what you need to achieve. Plug and play. So, like, if you drop the Steam Deck onto the dock, you should be able to walk to your controller, sit down, and start playing.
And
they're not there yet.
If that means I have to have like a Steam controller to go with the dock, so be it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I get that might piss off some PC players that are like, yeah, but PC's been using other controllers for years. What do we have to have a specified? Like, if that's what I have to do, I'll fucking do that. But just make it happen.
Yeah. I'm down with that. Yeah, you just said you had another one, or is that?
I do, and it's just the compatibility issues with
the
with the Steam library. I'm not the guy to say how to improve that, but obviously
I think you should be able. I have a solution to that. Is you should be able to run them in a different mode where it's treating it like the screen is. I don't know how to explain it, but like I noticed that you can use a controller for some of the games that are Steam incompatible, or that are Steam Deck not compatible with Steam Deck. I was still able to use a controller for it on my PC. So there should be a way to just use the Steam Deck as like maybe an emulation or something. And then you can still you play it as the controller to that game. I don't know. There's got to be a way to do that. So just a different mode for games that are incompatible.
Or even like that original Tomb Raider that I was talking about that has to use a keyboard to play. Like, why can't you just emulate the keyboard keys, to the buttons? Like, why isn't that a thing? Like, why can't you just, the Steam Deck be like, okay, well, then the keyboard keys are these buttons?
Well, that sounds like it might be something more for the creator of the game.
Yeah, but it's still, I don't know. It seems like that could be some sort of option baked into the system to, like, map the buttons to certain keys or something, Like...
Oh, like your thing is in keyboard mode. So now... This is this.
Yeah,
okay.
so if I'm playing an old game like that has to use a keyboard, like I can go into keyboard mode, and then like my A button is now spacebar, and it's just whatever. It seems like it could be doable.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, and then any other improvements would just be like incremental. Yeah. Hey, it'd be nice if the processor was stronger. Yeah, so whatever. That stuff's
better screen, better battery. Whatever. That stuff's of course. But cool. Well, overall, I have been enjoying the Steam Deck, and we talked about a lot of negatives, but I just want everybody to know at home that I am liking the Steam Deck quite a bit, and this has been like my thing I've been doing recently. Like, and somebody's like, "Hey, what you been playing?" I'm like, the fucking Steam Deck. So,
Alex, what's that thing you've been doing recently?
I've been playing Shadow the Hedgehog on my Steam Deck and drinking beer at 1 a.m, running around. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Little bit of heroin.
A little bit of heroin.
Like just a touch. It's a touch, not much.
So yeah, it is very nice. I do think it's probably one of my favorite handhelds. Curious to see if it'll overtake the Switch, because I was really into the Switch for a while, and I'm not as much now. I still play my Switch, but like the magic kind of faded away after a while, and I was like, yeah, it's a Switch. So I'm curious if like the magic will fade away one day, and I'll just be like, yeah, it's a Steam Deck. Grandpa, what's that? Yeah, it's a Steam Deck. Well, Spencer, I'll help you send that letter to Gabe Newell.
Oh no, I got a direct line.
Don't forget Mouse Nipple.
Mouse Nipple. Yeah, I'll get it. It's all in there. It's all in there. I got it pre-typed and everything.
He'll know what it means.
Okay.
We're cool like that. Me and Gabe, we're cool like that.
Tight.
Hanging out with Gabe. Can't wait for like a crazy new story for Gabe Newell one day where he's building a giant robot or something, you know. It's like all those tech giants always have those where it's like,
yeah
it's building a rocket ship or building it's like Gabe Newell's build a giant robot and he's fighting crime or something.
Yeah, they're also eclectic.
Yeah.
Like I run the Facebook. I operate it. We talk about changes to make, maybe update the privacy terms a little bit. I'm also building a death ray that one day will point towards Los Angeles right now. And
for all the people that laughed at me for having that barbecue sauce on my shelf, I'm good.
Yeah. It's always something weird like that. Like, oh, that's a weird thing that I didn't know you're into that. He's like, yeah, I'm into killing.
Do you remember the Zuckerberg barbecue sauce? Oh,
yeah, he just had it like on the like. Yeah,
that's my goddamn favorite. I love that picture. Or that like video, but like I just love that image of weird alien looking Zuckerberg talking in front of a wooden shelf, and there's just a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's.
Guy's living on Mars.
He was like,
guys on another
humans
planet.
like barbecue sauce, right?
The humans.
The humans. They like this barbecue sauce, right? Most popular barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah, I could just see him like talking to his assistant. Like, hey, what's the most popular barbecue sauce? It's like Sweet Baby Ray's, I guess that's what I use. I'll take one.
People like that, right?
Like, why? Why? Don't you worry about it.
Now, but what do people use it for? They consume it, like by it, like like from the bottle. How do they
ingest this device?
Where do I put my flap? Your what? I mean my mouth. Sorry.
yeah.
I forgot. I forgot to say mouth.
They put it on their steak. On their stick? No, their steak. Why do you eat sticks? What are these people? Sticks and stones.
All my food are in pill form.
Yeah. Well, it's time for lunch.
I was thinking, do you remember fucking Spy Kids or whatever, where they had like microwavable McDonald's or something, or it was like they had like a little pill.
No, I don't.
They had like a little. It was an awful movie. They had a little pill. They put it in like this microwave, push a button, and then like a McDonald's meal came out, and they were like, "Oh, so high tech." And I remember being a kid and being like, "I wish we had that at home." And I was like, "My God, we do not need that at any home."
Yeah.
Don't forget your McDonald's pills.
Wasn't that like in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Well, no, they had like. Did they have that like that?
They had like a roast beef, like a candies.
Oh yeah, they had
like,
a can that tasted like roast beef, right? Like
but not actual like full meals, I guess.
Yeah, like that
not,
didn't turn into them.
Calorie dense.
That'd be awesome though, if like Willy Wonka's like, this is an entire Thanksgiving meal. It's a chewing gum, and also you float, and you fart bubbles.
I have to run really quick. I'll be right back.
I'm a menace to society. Well, we're ending this anyway, so Spencer's gonna run out the door while Spencer's running out the door while the outro's playing. Here he goes. Bye, Spencer. Open the door. You can mash A. Yes. Thanks for watching, everybody.